Hello and welcome to a Star Citizen ship production and development update. I get a ship ton of questions, each month. It's a pun. On have there been updates on X ship? When is a ship planned to come out? Is it even in production? So every so often I do a video update and look at what Cloud Imperium have said recently about ships in concept, production, etc. So just recently, with Star Citizen Alpha 3.17.4 and the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, we had 3 ships added to the game, which are now flyable, drivable, whatever you want to call it. I suppose flyable. The Corsair, obviously that exploration ship, really cool ship, really like it. Got the C8R medical Pisces as well, and we've got the new starter ship, the Cutter. Alpha 3.18, we know is going to bring at least the Vulture into the game, but there are also at least 4 ships and vehicles that are yet unannounced that Cloud Imperium are working on, so we could see something new turn up with the 3.18 patch. In fact, it's actually probable. But let's talk about some of the other ships that are very popular that Cloud Imperium are sort of working on, whether that's reconcepting, they're in production, or whatever. The Polaris, the mighty torpedo corvette. I think this ship is going to be the center of a lot of people's fleets, and if you want to sort of do a mixture of mission running and combat, and you want to run something small to medium sized with your friends, I suppose. It is a corvette, it is pretty big. Beyond its current reconcepting phase, the Polaris doesn't have any more work scheduled in for it yet anyway. This could change in the very near future. But we recently saw its newly planned interior. The ship is split across 2 decks. It's got a big bridge now with nearby escape pods, hangar for medium fighter, cargo bay, big old cargo bay. Looks like it holds sort of 15 crew. It's got a brig, a med bay with what looks like 2 tier 2 sort of med beds. It's got a massive engineering section and captain's quarters and sort of CO's office and quarters and a scary torpedo bay. They have made the Polaris a little bit bigger as well. The Banu Merchantman is a floating marketplace / cargo hauler. It's one of the oldest ships that has yet to be completed. It's currently being worked on with work scheduled going into June 2023. However, as with pretty much all the other ships in the game, it's very possible that they could pause production on it and at least some of the team that's working on it be retasked with other vehicles and environments and locations, points of interest that have a higher priority. That said, the ship has seen a lot of work through its reconcepting phase and white box and moving towards grey boxing for a lot of bits for it. The exterior is looking like it's made the most progress. We've seen its planned bridge, the crew living areas, little shrine sort of prayer area, turret access, hangar bay, large cargo hold. I'm really looking forward to being able to stock and semi-automate my shops aboard this ship because that's what the idea of it is. It's a bit of a cargo hauler. It's also, you can land it somewhere or dock it with something and then people come aboard and buy goods from your stalls there. The ship has a load of artists and designers working on it, 13 at last count, and even if it does keep on being in production all the way up until June, there's probably still quite a bit more that they will need to do after that to get it in game. I think if you're very lucky, you could see it at the end of 2023, if it is sort of going straight all the way through the pipeline into sort of like production and completion. The Argo SRV is a space tow truck, and it's got a powerful tractor rig. So art and design teams have been working on the ship and have work planned on it up until early February 2023 with the EU vehicle content team at least. We do know that Cloud Imperium want to get large-scale tractor beams in-game, and we hope that we're going to see this relatively soon as part of the ongoing cargo refactor. This ship won't just be for towing other ships though. It's going to be sort of obviously helping ships out of atmosphere, but also aiding in mining, salvage and cargo movement. It's a fantastic utility ship as well. Crusader Spirit series, the C1, E1 and A1. These are competitors to the Cutlass and Freelancer series with cargo, VIP transport and bombing gameplay respectively. The ship has a 50-week set of work wrapping up June 2023, and it's quite possible the ship will be close to being done by then, so it might be a Q2, Q3 release. I love this as a potential upgrade from sort of like maybe you get your starter ship, then move on to an Avenger Titan, and then move on to a Crusader C1 rather than a Freelancer or a Cutlass Black. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I just think they look great. The Yoyopoa Santok Yai. This is the Xi'an medium fighter. We recently saw a top-down view of the ship in a sneak peek from Cloud Imperium. So this has a 25-week set of work wrapping up in June 2023 again. It will be interesting to see where this ship lands in the meta. These ships are supposed to be like a bit different from other ships, be they alien or human, because they sort of have all these like multiple articulated thruster rig stuff going on, and it's sort of more strafey is the idea. The Origin X1. This is the elusive luxury floating bike. The vehicle feature team are working on this January, February 2023, and then that's getting more work from the US vehicle content team in June 2023. So again, could very well be a sort of Q2, Q3 more likely release for that floating bike. Some capital ship stuff. So the Aegis and Javelin, they've seen a lot of work. They do require server meshing and some more work before going into players' hands, though. I would expect that Cloud Imperium want to get the resource management system done and in our grubby little mitts before they push out these ships to players. They are apparently not being held back for Squadron 42. However, there may be bits that are completed closer to sort of Squadron 42's launch for the ships, and things with like the Idris. Well, Squadron 42's Idris is actually the Idris M, and it's a very specific one. And same with the Javelin. The interiors are going to be a little bit different because they are military models, and they are sort of going to have props and things set up for Squadron 42, whereas the civilian versions, the Idris P and Javelin Civilian, shall we call it, they are going to be a little different and will need a bit more work before actually being ready. And you've got to remember these interiors are quite massive. And we also never really know Cloud Imperium's marketing moves, so they could change all that. They might be, actually, we're going to hold it back for Squadron 42 now. They might just randomly decide that. The Hull C. This is a pretty big cargo hauler that will likely often be used for smuggling as well. It can morph when it's not carrying cargo so that it can land in lots more locations. But when it's got cargo, it's got these big spindles that sort of hold loads of cargo. The ship is almost complete. Cloud Imperium were just waiting for the cargo factor to come online with Alpha 3.18 to sort of get the Hull C then finished. And we could actually see it as part of a 3.18.x patch, in my opinion, or the next major patch thereafter. So 3.19, or if they skip 3.19, 4.0. We know some design work wrapped up in November for the ship as well. Really looking forward to it. We know the 600i is having a big reconcept, especially if it's sort of modular section. So most of the ship is sort of parallel between the touring and exploration versions, but the rear section of the ship is pretty modular now. The luxury touring version has a full-on spar, while the exploration version makes much better use of its space for that sort of exploration-y role, with a big old cargo bay that can hold a tank, if you want, and an armory. So exploration is quite good at sort of mission running as well, and being very multi-role. The ship's split over 3 decks. It's a big, cool ship, especially with the changes that they're making with it. On a bit more of a side note, the current resource management work looks to wrap up April 2023. So this system will handle resources for stations, settlements, cities, and all other locations. It will also unlock engineering station gameplay for ships, letting players manage power, CPUs, fuel, shields, coolant, etc. It's needed for damage control and sort of physicalized components and a load of other things, including life support systems. It's a huge amount of gameplay there, including true multi-crew gameplay, which has me really excited. That's going to massively change ships, and obviously they want to get all ships up to that sort of standard, though it's going to take a while, and there might be quite a lot more work after that work wraps up in April, because that could just be for the sort of prototype actually fully working with the Hammerhead. I think was the first ship they've planned to get working with that fully. Space mines are being worked on, and work for that looks to wrap up in May 2023. So this is going to be the ability for players and certain ships to release different mines. This could mean that we see mines being able to be deployed out of cargo bays, or we'll see like a smaller mine layer ship turn up in the not too distant future, or that the Nautilus is being fast-tracked. We'll have to sort of wait and see. An MFD rework, or multifunction display rework, has sort of plans wrapping up in June 2023 again. Both rebuilding ships' MFDs with the new building blocks UI technology, as well as completely redesigning them in an effort to make them more customizable, better matched to ship aesthetics, and better at serving ship gameplay. We also know that Cloud Imperium are working on a massive amount of ship combat and quantum travel changes. So, and that's the new master mode stuff, but that's also a huge amount of new meta and sort of balance changes, additions to the game, and sort of bringing everything up to gold standard. Please check out my video on that if you are so inclined. We do also know that Cloud Imperium are working on a mid to high tier RSI mining ship, so that's going to be exciting for some. But unfortunately, there are no updates on a lot of ships and vehicles at the moment. So things like the Perseus or Titan suits and the Apollo, though Cloud Imperium did say that the RSI sort of galaxy is very modular and they're looking at modular gameplay. That ship obviously also has medical gameplay tied to it. Yeah, there might be a bit of a look at the Apollo, maybe, if we're lucky, in the not too distant future. There's nothing new on the Endeavour, even though modularity is being talked about again. Hopefully, Cloud Imperium will start showing off modules for the Caterpillar in the next year, maybe. But yeah, the Expanse, the Legionnaire, the Odyssey, the Liberator, Raylan, the G12s, the Vulcan, the Rangers, the Krakens, the Pioneer, the Genesis, the massive Orion, and the rest of the Hull series remain unaccounted for currently. No new news on them, but that's actually not that many ships when you consider that we have well over 120 ships and vehicles in game already, and Cloud Imperium are obviously building a lot more currently, so hopefully they'll clear out that sort of remaining backlog in the next few years. But I would like some more updates, and we are going to be getting a lot more, a big sort of indicator of what Cloud Imperium are working on for 2023 in early February 2023. That's sort of when they will do all of their scheduling plans, or the scheduling plans will be finished, and they'll sort of share them with us with the roadmap update. At least that is the hope. But what do you think? Are you excited for any of the ships that are being worked on? Are you disappointed that we don't have new news on your favourite ship? What is your favourite ship that is currently in concept or development? Do you think Cloud Imperium is working on the sort of older ships enough and clearing out that backlog fast enough, or do you think they are far too focused on sort of new ships and selling stuff rather than working on older stuff? What ships do you want to hear updates on? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below.
Ho ho ho! Merry Nordmas!
It's Santa!
No, Timmy, it's Father Nordmas. I'm legally distinct and spread NordVPN cheer. Here you go, little Tim. Have some discount on your next NordVPN purchase. Just what you wanted. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer.
But Santa, we don't want a VPN.
I told you, Tim, it's Father Nordmas.
Every month we have a ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away the mighty Drake Corsair Explorer with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This no-nonsense Explorer can take you and 3 friends to the limits of adventure around the verse, and although more focused on exploration and expedition, it is a great multi-role mission runner too. Comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the videos, leave comments, and if you feel so inclined, use the join button under my videos and give a little bit each month to help the channel. It really, really does help. Or you can even become a Patreon or donate. Check out all the links below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great time in the verse.